What up, y'all? What's going on? Y'all know it's this magical time called Friday nights. So y'all chilling with your boys, Playcallers Sports Talk Show. Join on my side by my guy, as always, Mr. Steven Box. What's up, Steven?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, chilling, man. Chilling, man. And then below us, we see him sometimes. Sometimes he be a busy man, but tonight he was able to grace us with his presence. My boy, Coach Dante. What's up, Coach?
Hey, what's good? What's good, man? Been going to go support the high school basketball kids and stuff like that. But I'm all good. I know one thing, it ain't good. Davis Mills ain't good, but I'm good. Let's get right into it.
I know another thing ain't good. Anything to do with the Carolina Panthers, who we may touch on a little bit later because they had a few things happen this week with some interest. We'll see how time goes because they may not be worth our time. Shout out to Shady Sports Network with the what up. And if you're watching, if you're new, you're just perusing across and you see this, you're checking out the replay, or you just forgot who you're dealing with, who you watching. Just want to remind you real quick.
The Playcallers.
All right, so check it, fellas. We try to do it something that's a little fun, right? Something I think people might want to hear our opinions on. So instead of just going over the same sports stories that everybody else do, talk about the same thing. Try and do something a little different here. Still sports, always still sports, because this is what the play call is about. But we're going to hit some of the interesting topics that have happened this week. So we're going to start out. Zach Ertz was released by the Cardinals. He did clear waivers, and he wants to play for a Super Bowl contender. So we'll just go around. You guys, you want to give like one or two places that you think would be a good fit for Zach Ertz. Steven, we'll start with you, man. What you got?
I mean, honestly, man, I'm going to look at this from the standpoint of who are the real Super Bowl contenders. And in my opinion, with the way people are playing right now, there's only three, right? It's San Francisco, it's Philly, and it's Baltimore. I mean, you might have some other people that might manage to, sneak in there as we go towards the end of the season. But right now, those are the three. Philly is obvious, right? Go back home, where he was. You guys could use a tight end right now. So that's an obvious fit. San Francisco, for years, has been trying to figure out a way to get a second tight end on the field with George Kittle. This might be an opportunity to do that. Baltimore, think they like tight ends up there as well. So really, any of those teams to me are going to be a good fit for him. If I had to put my money on it, I'd say he's probably going to go back to Philly. But I think any of the three would actually be a good option for him.
This mother lover took the top three already. Coach,
I mean, there's only three to choose from.
Well, like I said, I think he's on it right. He didn't want to leave Philly at all. You saw him crying after he got traded. When he got traded to the Arizona Cardinals, when we thought Arizona Cardinals was, they went to the playoffs that year. They started off hot. You thought that was a good situation for him. Now, look at it now. They're in a rebuilding situation, but now going back to Philly, I think that's home to him. Being with Zach, being with Dallas Goedert being out with that fracture arm, I think you add some leadership in that locker room. You also add a guy that can still play as well. That still play as well. Like Steven said, ain't number three contenders that you're actually looking at. So, Baltimore. Look at Baltimore. They just lost Mark Andrews. They just lost him as well. So those are the two places I would actually look at if I'm Zach Ertz. Going back home to Philly, when you already got a Super Bowl, going back home when you're in a championship contender, I think it's only Philadelphia and San Francisco in my eyes are the two championship contenders in the NFC as of right now. And then in the AFC, Baltimore definitely look the strongest right now in the AFC. So I would say out of those two teams, I think it would fit right for Zach Ertz.
Well, I'm going to pose another place. I figured that you gentlemen would go there, and I don't disagree. But there is one place that's bereft of talent to catch the football that could win a Super Bowl if people could catch the ball. So what if Zach Ertz ends up in Kansas City. 2 tight end sets with Travis Kelce. Now, that's a place I think he makes a difference as well. And I think he makes a difference all the places that you guys pointed out for the reasons that you said, absolutely. Mark Andrews being down, Ish Smith has shown in the past he's not able to be that number one guy for you. Philadelphia, Goddard, from the last reports, has been practicing, but that doesn't mean he's going to play. But even with Goddard, back, Ertz would be definitely slotted in as the second best tight end on the team, no question. Veteran leadership, all those good things. You talk about San Francisco. Why wouldn't they want him? Even Detroit, they think they're a contender. They would give it a shot as well. I'm saying, man, lots of options, but excited for the possibilities for Ertz. So we will move on here. 1 second, y'all. Been out in the cold all day. A little stopped up here, but we're gonna make it work. So, Angel Reese situation. We've heard about it. We've seen it. What's you guys' thoughts? We'll start with you, Coach. With you, Coach Dante.
Like I said again, I think there's still going to be a threat to go far into the NCAA tournament. What makes me think, I believe it was grades. I believe it was grades. She was dealing with some bad grades over there. But even when she was out, if you just actually looked at LSU when they played, their defense looked really good. Lisa Morrow looked really better out there. You had Haley Van Lett. She was all right. She was pretty solid out there. The team plays some very good defense when Angel Reese was out. It took us some time the other night when her having 19-9 the other night, but Flajay Johnson and Nisa Morrow was absolutely tremendous when she was out, and their defense was absolutely better when she was out. So I think even though you didn't hear much what was going on, you saw them when when Angel Reese passed the ball to Flajay Johnson for a layup. They shook hands immediately. So that clears up everything that was going on a little bit. They're just being professionals, probably on the court. Doesn't mean they're all friendly. They just putting their differences aside to win games. But other than that, it was good to have Angel Reese back on the court. But the team was actually better on defense without Angel Reese. They looked really good. Nisa Morrow got a lot involved in the game. Flajay Johnson was a lot better. I think they will be fine. I just think she went with. It really makes me think it was grades issues with Angel Reese.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I don't know what it was, and I have this very unpopular opinion amongst a lot of people that it's really none of our business. And so I don't really comment on like whatever people might have going on. Obviously, whatever the deal was, it's either been rectified or at least handled to the point that she felt comfortable coming back to the team. So, I mean, good for her that she's able to come back and continue playing. You're muted, sir.
There we go. So I was able to read up on this. And one of the things that I saw what she said, sometimes you have to take time for yourself. Talking about how, a lot changed for her after last season. She's not just an athlete, she's a human too, And I feel like it was just, sometimes you need a mental health break, right? Mm-hmm. Timing may not have been the best, but, the coach really made it feel like it was just open-ended. One of the interesting things was 2 people that Angel Reese credited was her mom and Shaq, who is a fellow LSU alum. So things, I think we'll never get the intricacies of what exactly it was, but I feel like it may have been a combination of poor play, some things went on with school, and her just need to take a little time, reset, refocus from whatever the specific situation was. She said she was feeling overwhelmed. She had a lot of eyes on her, a lot of things that hadn't been there before, they won the championship and the whole you can't see me and everything. A lot of opportunities as well. So I think sometimes these young ladies and men as well, we have to realize they're human beings, right? They're no different from us. They have things come up and it may have been caused by something specifically, or it may just been just as simple as, doing a lot, burning herself out. And she just got to a place where she just needed to take a little mental break, get everything back together, come back, get focused, and help this team do what they need to do. And that's try to win back-to-back championships. So I like her answer. I like the lack of the coach and LSU not saying specifically what it was. She did also say, Angel Reese, that don't believe what you read. So essentially, from what I'm gathering, it felt like it wasn't anything to do with like grades. It was just more her needing a break. We haven't seen any proof that she had bad grades. It's just a rumor, one of many that was started about what was happening with her. But you don't clean up a situation with grades in a week and a half unless everybody allows you to make up work. So I don't think that was the situation. I think, she just needed a break for whatever reason. And, her mom had some words with Flagene's mom online, and guess what? That happens too. But at the end of the day, man, these were two young ladies that were both par and main reasons why this team won. They seem to be good with each other now. So if there was an issue, it seems to be resolved. There was another on the team that has not returned yet that left at the same time Angel Reese did. And the report was there was something going on between those two ladies in the locker room. But I'm not going to get into that either because we don't have any proof. I'm tired of hearing stories where we're just attempting to say, oh, these people can't play together and they don't like each other and blah, blah, blah. So glad she's back. She's going to be a piece that they need. Like the way she played. And I hope LSU gets an opportunity to get back to the Final Four and possibly win another championship. So I'm just going to leave it at that for me personally. But yeah, guys, a lot going on. We've got one Darious Leonard had a couple of interviews with the Eagles and the Cowboys this past week. Told both organizations it's going to take a little bit of time, weigh out the options. Personal opinion, and if you guys want to add anything cool, personal opinion, probably wants to see if there's any other suitors, maybe more playing time somewhere else, maybe the money. Maybe he wants to have more people interested so he can rise the cost of what it's going to take to get him for the rest of the season. Or maybe just want to take a weekend off and chill and not have to worry about being banged up on the football field. So whatever the case may be, he's taking his time. I don't blame him. You got to make sure the situation you get in is right for you. Mm-hmm. You got that thoughts?
I mean, I agree, man. I think that, there's probably a number of factors, right? I mean, like you said, maybe he's waiting to kind of see if some other people get interested. Maybe he's kind of looking at, this week and next week are really big in terms of kind of the seeding in the NFC. So maybe, he's kind of looking to see how some of that's going to shake out before deciding where he wants to go. Maybe it's money. Maybe he just wanted some time off. But, I think the one thing we all agree with is wherever he chooses to go, he's going to be a big get for somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty much sure wherever he decides to go, it's going to be someone that's it's going to be a team that's in a playoff picture or dealing with a Super Bowl picture. So I'm okay with him taking his time. If he needs some time off, off the injury, then it's fine. But wherever he's going to go, he's going to help that team out. Like another one of those guys who knows how to play middle linebacker, who was a leading tackle before in the league, who was a defensive player of the year in the league before, a defensive stud at linebacker, a Pro Bowler. So you're getting all the linebacker who has a winning mentality, but a leader mentality, and that knows how to play the middle linebacker position. So wherever he goes, if it's to the Eagles or the Cowboys, he's definitely going to help them out.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, man. I definitely feel that. So yeah, we're kind of sliding on through here tonight, fellas. Kind of sliding on through here. So this one should be some good debate here. So we know we've got championship games going on. They haven't finished. So we're, of course, projecting who we think is going to win. But who do you guys think will be the last four standing for the NCAA college football playoffs? As of right now, obviously, things can change depending on somebody loses we don't expect to, somebody wins we don't expect to, obviously. So, but based on the information you have as of now, who do you guys think? And Stephen, let's go with you first on this one.
So we just doing our four right now. We're not really talking about anything else, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna.
But if you want to talk about something about who your four is, you definitely could do that.
Well, I mean, we'll get. I mean, sure, we'll get into that conversation. So for right now, I'll just give my four. So I think Georgia wins. So I'm gonna have them as the 1 seed. I think Georgia or Michigan's also gonna win. So I'm gonna have them as the 2 seed. I think Florida State's actually going to get in and be the 3 seed because I've got Oregon winning, and I think with them having the 1 loss, they'll probably put them at 4. Now that 3 and 4 could switch, but that's the 4 I've got is Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Oregon.
Whoever wins the Pac-12 title, I will say if Oregon wins, I will say they will be the 4th team if Oregon win.
Yeah,
I'm kind of iffy on Florida State because the freshman quarterback, and then Louisville is also a very good team. They are also a very good team, and they have upset hopes going into that game. But I'm gonna still take Florida State. With a Florida State win, I think they're in. I think they should be solidified. I don't think they should lose their spot. I don't care if you got a freshman quarterback. Remember, the last quarterback, and they won the national title was Cardell. Cardell, y'all remember that when Ohio State lost Braxton Miller, they lost the other quarterback too, and they still won the national title against Oregon with a freshman quarterback, Cardell Jones. That's who it was. So if Florida State win, they deserve to be in. So I got Florida State. I got Oregon. I think Georgia's going to win. I got Michigan right now. But if Alabama find a way to win, I think Georgia still make it. I don't think they bump Georgia. They put Georgia up out of the playoff. I think Alabama. But it's hard for me to say Alabama makes it because you're basically jumping up from 8 to 4. But if somehow Alabama wins, I will be really interested to see what the committee does with that. If Alabama wins that game, but I got Georgia winning that game. So my four will be Georgia, Oregon, Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and Florida State.
I will just throw in real quick, just for those who might not know, Coach, that the quarterback that we're going to be having possibly play, because we don't know if Tate Rodemaker is going to be cleared yet or not. So if Brock Glenn ends up playing, his playing style is actually a lot more similar to Jordan Travis than Tate Rodemaker is. So there's a lot of people that actually kind of wanted him to be the starter last week. So it will be intriguing to see, because I do feel like in terms of the consistency of the offense, it might feel a little easier for the other players around him because they're used to that style of play.
So I'm going to go flush. I'm going to go Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. I think Washington is going to beat Oregon. But I do agree with both of you guys. If Oregon beats Washington, that just pushes Florida State up to 3, in my opinion, and moves Oregon into 4. Yeah. As long as it's a Florida State win, which I believe they will. And the fact of the matter is, we can argue who we think is the best teams because, this team's only played this team, this team's only played that team. But until you see them match up head to head, you don't really know. Yeah. That's what the rankings are for. It's not the job of the committee to go out and say, Florida State may not be as good as this team because they don't have this player. That's not their responsibility. Like Coach Dante just told y'all a few minutes ago. But Daryl Jones won as a true freshman. You wouldn't have expected him to get in and play as well as he did, but that's why you give guys the opportunity, right? diehard Miami fan. I have spent all week defending Florida State, which makes me feel dirty and filthy inside, right? Which makes me hold my blanket tighter at night and want to shed a tear or two into it just because I feel dirty. But it was the right thing to do because you can't take a team that has played exceptionally well all season. And you can talk about, oh, they had a close game of this team and a close game of that team. Name a team that's undefeated at this point in the season that hasn't had close games. Let's just stop all that. Let's stop trying to take reasons and make reasons to take this team out. Let's acknowledge what they've done. They finish it up in the ACC championship game. There's no reason they shouldn't be in. There are 4 undefeated teams above them. Now, if you had Florida State as the 5th undefeated team and they already were at 5th, and then you decided, hey, we're not going to put them in, it is what it is. They're a top 4 team. There's 4 undefeated teams left. Going to be 3 or 4 after this weekend. So they're going to be one of them, in my opinion, as well as clearly the other people here on the panel. So that's what we're going to get. Let's stop trying to make something out of nothing. I don't care about the strength of schedule and wins and all that crap. Are you undefeated? Had you beaten everybody that was placed in front of you? If you have not, you should not get in over a team that has. That's just that simple.
Yeah, I think when I look at where this could all get interesting, right, is I think the Pac-12 champion, regardless of who wins this game, is it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's a given.
Mm-hmm.
Where things get interesting is with the other 3, right? Because if Georgia loses to Alabama, there's not a guarantee that Alabama goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a very good argument right now to say you've had Texas ranked above Alabama all year because of their head-to-head victory in Tuscaloosa. And they're also going to be a conference champion. Right? So anything that Alabama does to boost their resume also boosts Texas' resume. So we could see a situation where Alabama could win and the SEC actually get left out completely. So that could be interesting. We could also see a situation where if Alabama wins, the committee may say, hey, you know what? We can't leave out Georgia, even though they had this loss in SEC championship. And they may try to find a way to get 2 SEC teams in there. So to me, it's going to get very interesting to see how all this plays out. The only team that I think really is kind of in that section right now that we could say it doesn't matter what happens, they're not going to get in is Ohio State. They're done.
I completely agree, man. I completely agree. While we're, on the subject of college football, is there anything else regarding college football that either one of you gentlemen would like to go ahead and throw out into the stratosphere?
Like I said, again, all I wanted to say is that USC defensive coordinator should have been fired. Yeah, I don't know how he waits that long. You knew his defense was pretty bad last year. You knew it was pretty bad last year. You knew it was still going to be the same doing coming in this year. But you wait till that long for this man to be fired. He almost lost to Arizona State. Now, granted, I gave him a little bit of pass against Notre Dame because Keller Williams was turning the ball over a little bit. And I thought the defense performed okay in that game. But against Arizona, and shout out to Arizona, they're a good team this year. Arizona had a hell of a season. That was a surprise college football team right there. But nowhere in where you let that go this long and you get embarrassed by UCLA, that's unacceptable. That's really unacceptable. That's actually unacceptable. That cannot happen. But that defensive coordinator should have been fired.
Yeah, I'll just say, in terms of college football, the Heisman watch is something we're obviously going to be kind of keeping an eye on. And a lot of people feel, and I agree that this probably will be the case, that the Heisman Trophy gets decided tonight in the Pac-12 championship. But I honestly think that Jaden Daniels should be the front runner. If you actually look at the numbers, he's going to end up with more yardage than Bo Nix. And it's not even going to be particularly close, even with one less game, because he's not even playing the championship game. So to me, you're looking at the fact that their defense is horrible and they've lost a few games. But outside of the Florida State game, that offense has not been stopped all year long. So to me, he's a guy who's going to be in the conversation, but I don't think he's getting the respect he should be getting. I ultimately think that they're going to end up deciding between Michael Penix Jr., who I told y'all in the offseason was going to be then in this conversation, and Bo Nix, who I definitely did not see be a part of this conversation. So
I feel that. So while we are here on college football, I do have something in regards to college football I'd like to talk about. And my co-host may be tired of hearing about this. And if he is, that's cool. That's fair. But hey, you're going to have to hear about it one more night, pimping. And that's my man, Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders, Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. So there were some other people that, a lot of people have been saying, oh, they should have won it over him. A couple of those, Angel Reese, Travis Kelce, or the NBA 2K gamer Jeremy Seese. I think it's Seese. So for me, I'm going to say this. I said in the beginning of the season, I felt like the very top cap for Colorado was 6 or 7 games. They ended up winning 4. I did say week 3, they already had 2 more wins than last year. If they didn't win another game, they already had started to turn this program around and had a much better year. They won 4. A couple more they should have won, especially at Stanford. But hey, it happens, right? You have to learn how to be a winner. You have to build a winning tradition in the program. You can't do that in 1 year, especially with a lot of guys that were brought in via transfer portal. Another piece of the argument people are making is, Deion Sanders, he's had a lot of guys that, have decommitted and blah, blah, blah. Coach Prime himself said this best. These guys don't even commit to their girlfriend at 16, 17 years old, 18 years old, right? So how do we expect them to commit to a college and stay committed? You commit, you decide that maybe another program is going to be a better opportunity. And here's something, they're both there's quarterbacks, right? Who has said that they're going to be back at Colorado next year? Shedeur Sanders. So if Shedeur is going to be there, that means you're not going to start at Colorado. So if you're not going to start at Colorado and someone else, maybe like a San Diego State or somewhere else, Oregon State, just throw out some names, are telling you, hey, you can come in here and compete for the starting job year 1. Yeah. Why not go there? Because you have this thing called a transfer portal. You go there for a year, you play, Shedeur leaves, you say, hey, coach, I want to come now. Transfer portal. So there is no really committing to a school. Committing to a school doesn't make you like, oh, he's committed to, Miami. Yeah, it's you, baby. He's going to be you. He could be there for a year and leave, 2 years and leave. That's where we're at in college football. That's where we're in college sports. So it's not a big thing about, somebody coming. You got to keep them. Also, my last piece of the argument is he even said he needed more people. He said he needed help. He said he needed 3 more dogs for him to be successful. So, guys, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, again, Shedeur Sanders still had a solid year, man. No doubt about that. For his first, time, playing at a Power 5 school, Sanders, I believe, had 31 touchdowns, so only 3 interceptions. So he did a good job. His first Power 5 collegiate career. And I know people want to bash him for doing the watch thing, but let's not act like the man did not have a good season, man. 31 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's damn good in the Pac-12, and his first time being in the Power 5 situation. And a lot of people happy that Deion Sanders didn't win too much. But the fact is, the program won 1 game last year. 1 game. They got 3 more wins than they did last year. That's already an improvement. This guy is going to draw guys out of the transfer portal. He's going to get some commits. So, again, this is not the end of the world for Coach Prime. I mean, I think he's still committed to getting this team where they're supposed to be. Yes, I was one of the ones, along with Cool, hobbling around like 7 wins, thought they could get 7 wins. It didn't happen. They won 4. And he already said he needs some offensive linemen, some defensive linemen as well. They're going to be better next year. They're going to be probably better next year, and they're going to have another opportunity. And Shedeur Sanders going to be there. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks coming out of the draft next year. A lot of people's going to want in the NFL is going to want him, but he's also going to have a solid year. So again, not mad at Coach Prime. I think he's handling his situation very well, very well. And most people just don't like him at all. Some people don't like him at all. And again, nobody hyped them up to be a New Year's Six Bowl team. We never thought that was going to happen. We just knew that Colorado was going to be improved.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, this is 2 different conversations, right? Because the question was, did he deserve to win the award? And if you look at the definition of what the award is supposed to be, it's awarded to the athlete or team whose performance that year most embodies the spirit of sportsmanship and achievement. I don't know that I put him into that category. I mean, people talk about, oh, they won, 3 more games than they did last year. That wasn't the same team. You can't compare those 2. They're 2 totally different things. You didn't take the same roster and win 3 more games. You brought in a whole new roster and won 3 more games. So to me, it's not an apples to apples comparison in terms of the records. But, if you're talking about purely from an influence standpoint, the impact he had on the university, and not just on football, but just on academics, be able to bring money in, be able to bring attention to it, creating buzz. If you're basing it off of those things, then yeah, he's probably the most deserving person of the award. So it kind of depends on your viewpoint of it. Other list of people that they went over, though, I mean, in all honesty, I feel like we can maybe make a case for Angel Reese. The rest of the people, I like. Why is Travis Kelce even in this? Were we giving Travis Kelce an award for dating Taylor Swift? I don't, to me, like, I don't get that, right? And so I don't even understand the complaint with some of the other people. So I don't really have a problem with it. Like I said, based on their definition of it, I don't know that he necessarily fits into it, but I don't have a problem with him getting it. I mean, it's just an award. Who cares, right? At the end of the day, it's not affecting me. It's not taking money out of my pocket. It's not, hurting me in any way, shape, or form for him to win the award. But I agree with Coach in terms of I do think they'll be better next year. I mean, I do think that Deion's a good coach. He's going to go out there and he's going to get people, and some people are going to be attracted to, Coach Prime, and some people not. And if you're not, then, he's not going to wear himself with you. He's going to stay focused on building the program up. And I think that, it might take a little longer than people thought. And I said that at the beginning of the year when everybody else was running around talking about, oh, they're going to win 8, 9 games and all this. And I was like, it takes a lot to win 6 games in college football. It's a lot harder than people think it is. And I didn't think they were going to have this success to go be in a bowl this year. And I mean, they got close, but they didn't quite get there. I think they'll probably, be in a bowl next year. And then by year 3 or year 4, if he stays around that long, they will, probably be winning 9, 10 games in a year. But, I just think a lot of people, when they saw the TCU game at the beginning of the year, they made that mistake of not realizing that wasn't the TCU who played the national championship game the year before. Right. That team was completely different than the national championship team. And they overhyped the team. And that really was kind of the beginning of the end, because anybody who watched that game who knew football saw they had too many problems on the offensive and defensive line. It was obvious to anyone who watched that game who knows football. But I think that Coach Prime will take care of that in the offseason. He's going to definitely be out there getting him some guys to fill them positions in.
So you said one thing that a lot of people have made in arguments all season, right? Coach Prime had the same team. It's not like he took the same guys. The fact is, we're talking about college sports. It's never the same team from year to year. You're always going to have a different team from year to year. Guys graduate, Now you got the transfer portal. You can just say, I don't want to be here. Piss on y'all. I'm out. You have to get no reason and go somewhere else. So you're never going to have the same team. But the reason that records are important to me, can't speak for anyone else. To me, the reason records are important is that's how you can trade the team from year to year to year to year to year. Team got 1 win. You come in, you get 4 wins. Next year, you get that 5, 6, 7 wins, right? You're seeing a progression in the program. We can't, I mean, I find it hypocritical for people to say, oh, this wasn't the same team, because it never could be the same team. Graduation, guys don't want to play anymore. Guys go to another school. So you're going to always be different from year to year. But to me, you take the same organization, the same team, obviously different players, the same team, and you improve it. There should be, appreciation for what he's doing. But as I said, when they were winning and even when they were losing, the problem isn't they don't want him to coach necessarily. The problem is they don't like the person. They don't care about the kids being successful. They don't want the man Deion Sanders to be successful. They want him to fall on his face because he didn't follow the good old boy route to get there. And they don't like that. But at the end of the day, I did think they could win, 6, 7 games. I said, hey, I think their ceiling is 6, 7 wins. They didn't quite get there. As far as the bowls go, I'd have to do my research because I know that there are going to be bowl games open because enough teams did not get to 6 wins to satisfy the bowl needs. So the bowls can reach out to teams if they want. Maybe because of the injury to Shedeur and him not playing, that takes Colorado off the list, which makes perfect sense. Because if you don't have Shedeur, that team, with the other problems that they have, it's not a very good team. And Shedeur is not going to be able to play because of the back injury. So if you take him away, they probably won't make a bowl. But if Shedeur stays healthy, I'm sure some bowl, it might have been one of those day 1 bowls or something, but I'm sure some bowl would have hopped on and say, hey, we're going to bring on Colorado because it's going to be automatically stadium filled up, automatic eyes on this game. Because whether you liked him or hate him, those games all had great rankings because people wanted to see him either win or lose.
So you have to win at least 5 games to even be able to be picked as an alternate in the event that there's not enough 6-win teams. And then I think it's some kind of academic standard that they use to judge who's eligible first and all that kind of stuff. But they would have had to win 5 games to even be in consideration.
Okay, like I said, I hadn't researched that, but it doesn't. It's a moot point because Shedeur is hurt. You wouldn't pick him anyway, so it doesn't matter what the what the requirements are. You're not going to pick a team that doesn't have a starting quarterback, no matter if you had the ability to or not.
Yeah, and one thing, just for people who may not know this, when we talk about 6 wins, it's not just 6 wins, period. Because you can only count one of your wins against an FCS opponent as part of your 6. So people may or may not know that in terms of looking at who's going to be bowl eligible. But I mean, obviously that's not relevant to Colorado specifically, but just so people kind of know that.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up, in 2020, which was a couple of years ago, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that made bowl games with 3 or 4 wins.
Well, that was 2020. They made exceptions because of COVID. That was,
and then so there have been, and then in the past there were some as well, but there are a lot. It all depends on if you have enough. That's one of the things. I did some quick research here. If there's not enough 5-win teams that accept the bowls, then you can get a 4-win team in, because they have to accept it. They have to want to go to that bowl game too. So if you go through and you still don't have enough teams after the 5-win teams that accept bowls, you can't accept a 4-win team. But again, neither here nor there. It would be Colorado without Shedeur. But the big thing for me is just Coach Prime did a lot, not just wins and losses. He took a lot of players you saw behind the scenes, him in the locker room, uplifting young men as well. So the wins, the increase in wins is a part, but we also have to take into account the man and what he meant to Colorado, the funds he brought to that school, the eyes he put on that school, the young man that he was a father figure for. Those things didn't change because they were losing. He didn't only hug guys, tell guys he loved them, build guys up when they were losing. So he did it when they were winning as well. So, when they were losing as well. So I think he has a good argument for Sportsman of the Year. If you decide to go with Angel Reese, I wouldn't be upset with you either. But I think you look at overall impact, he definitely made more of an overall impact than Angel Reese. And we got a couple more comments here, guys, before we move on to the next topic. So we've got one of our guys here, O'Brien Brady himself, our man to go. What's up, Rob? And happy birthday. I know today is Rob's birthday.
Yep.
He says it's my mother blankety blank birthday. And he says, and them boys won. Which they did.
Yeah, I appreciate you, by the way, Rob. Appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah. The 49ers definitely appreciate you. As an Eagles fan, I just say, Seattle, you had one job. One job.
And I'll just say that if you're counting on Seattle to do their job, that was your problem.
I've never counted on Seattle to do their job. The thing is, we can take care of business ourselves, right? We're not out here hoping, our fingers twisted, praying to every football guy we can with incense, frankincense, and mirth that somebody else beats the Eagles, right? Or that somebody else beats the Cowboys, because we got a chance to do it ourselves next week. But because we are 10-1, the Cowboys have become 49ers fans since their game was over on Thursday, because they need y'all help.
Hey, I hope
they can't do it themselves.
I hope we oblige.
They can't do it themselves. Why? Because they lose too much. That's why. But hey, enjoy the game. Good job, Dallas. That looked good. Rob says, welcome, sir, to you. He laughs at Seattle. And then he says he'll be in section 212 next week. That's what's up. Go give them some support, because they might need it. They might need it. And there he goes. This proves my point. Bang. Let's go. Bang, bang, Niners game.
Hey, man.
See, that's how bad things have gotten. You got to kiss the posterior cruciate ligament of the team who drugged you through the mud this season. You don't even have the ability to say, I want San Francisco to lose because they took us to task, whooped our hindparts, and made us look like a JV team. You still got to kiss their butt and hope they do something for you.
Amen.
But hey, man, if you put yourself in that situation, it is what it is. The Eagles ain't got to worry about that. We handle business, and we got a clear path. We don't handle business. It is what it is. Now, here's where we're getting into the delusional Arlington football team fan. And we will handle business with both later. And if you want to say you could beat either San Francisco or Philly, okay, you ain't gonna beat both. That's not gonna happen.
I don't think they're gonna beat one of them. To be honest with you,
you ain't gonna beat both. So you better get that help. Better get that help this week.
Listen, y'all went out there and almost lost to Seattle, a team that the week before we had on the sideline screaming and yelling at each other because they were so frustrated.
So then, in typical Arlington football team fan, Niners best team in the league, real talk. Then he adds this laughable part when fully healthy.
I don't disagree. I think that's the key for us, right? Is are we healthy? And
why would a 49ers fan disagree that they're the best team in the NFL?
Well, I'm agreeing with the when healthy part. Because that's been our problem.
But who's not the best? Which one of us would not be good with everybody healthy? Let's not forget our starting middle linebacker, our defensive coach, our defensive coach of the team, our defensive play caller, our defensive quarterback. Excuse me, I said coach, quarterback. Played like 3 games this year. But we're not talking about that. But we're fully healthy. We're not fully healthy. Well, so we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles as if they're healthy, and this is all they have. No, we have important pieces that are out, and we're still finding ways to win games.
I mean, I'm missing my all-pro safety.
I mean, I'm missing multiple people. I mean, do we really? Lane Johnson didn't even play last week. Our all-world right tackle didn't even play last week.
But hey, you know
so
what?
I mean, so I mean, what are we saying here? Like,
but here's the good news. We'll find out Sunday.
So how can we find out when fully healthy when we're not going to be fully healthy Sunday?
Well, we're not.
How does that make sense?
But we're not going to be fully healthy either, and you know.
All right.
It doesn't
answer that question for me.
Fully healthy. It's are you healthy? Like that doesn't mean you have every single piece out there.
But isn't that fully healthy? The again, let's go to Robert's comment here. He says when fully healthy. He doesn't say when partially healthy, when marginally healthy. And he also says, I test Niners.
Well, let me ask you this.
This will be my argument for I test Niners. No, go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead.
Just my simple question. Are you healthy enough to beat us Sunday? Yes or no?
We're healthy enough to beat anybody in the league. That's why we're 10-1.
That's good. That's all I need to hear then.
But we're not fully healthy.
I don't care if you're fully healthy or not. I just want to know if you're healthy enough to beat us.
I'm talking to Robert.
Okay.
Robert said when fully healthy. You want to defend the Niners. I'm talking to Robert, who says you're the best team, you're fully healthy. He reiterates, all teams in the league fully healthy is the Niners. I mean, you could feel that way. That's fine, man. I know you want to give all of the juju that you can to the Niners. You want to give them all the positive energy, like they're doing a spirit ball, and you want to give some extra energy to it like they Goku. I get it. Because, again, this all truly stems from we couldn't beat the Eagles when we had them on the ropes. We done lost 3 games. The Eagles only lost 1 game. So we need the Eagles to lose games. And we only got 1 more shot at them ourselves because we blew the first shot. So we need them to have less wins than us at the end of the year to win the NFC East. So we're praying that they lose because we can't take care of business ourselves because we had the opportunity and we didn't take advantage of it. That's where this all comes from. Man. This whole line of thinking that's where that comes from. And he can say, all day, I call it like I see it. No, you call it as a Cowboys homer how you see it because you see it through blue-colored glasses. You always have it. You always will. But that's what we all do. I see it through green-colored glasses. Coach Dante sends it through red and blue-colored glasses for the Texans. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But again, still games to be played. But, Rob, you need help. You need to win out, and you need help. Because if we both win out right now, besides our game, you're still not going to be ahead of us. Because let's say we lose to San Francisco. Let's just say we lose to San Francisco. Let's go down that route. Then we lose to y'all, right? That's still only 2 losses in the NFC, 3 losses overall. And guess who beat you first, which means we have the tiebreaker for the division. Oh, yeah. You have to win every game, and we have to lose 3 games. You have to have more wins than us to get in over us. Are you going to do that? No. So enjoy your wild card because that's where you're going to be at. Number 5, you'll play the winner of the NFC South. Enjoy that.
Who is oh yeah, it was you. So all 3 of Dallas has lost in the NFC.
Yes, they are. We have 2 losses in the NFC, and we beat them head-to-head the first matchup. Even if you beat us in the regular season, you're not going to play us in the playoffs because we're going to be the number 1 seed. You're going to have to play San Francisco, who's going to be the number 2 seed, and they're going to beat you again because they're your father. And if your daddy is San Francisco, and that's your daddy.
And if we beat the Eagles Sunday, and we and the Cowboys somehow manage to win the next week, and we end up becoming a 1 seed, then you're gonna see Philly in the playoffs. Except for you're not gonna have the benefit of getting to play them a week after they got beat up by us. Because make no mistake about it, it's gonna be a physical game Sunday. But y'all ain't gonna have that benefit. Come playoffs.
Nope. If we win the first round, we will play Philly. Schedule hasn't played out, sir. Schedule hasn't played out. So let's acknowledge the fact that Dallas needs a lot of help because Dallas couldn't get it done themselves. That's the one true fact. We can project what's going to happen Sunday. We can project what's going to happen the rest of the season. But the fact of the matter is, had Dallas been able to win the game against us when they played us, we would be having a different conversation right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day,
They
man,
didn't.
I gotta hope that we win this week. And then I gotta, unfortunately root for Dallas this week. But I will sit here and acknowledge to you the reason I'm gonna have to root for Dallas is because that's the only way we can get a 1 seed from you.
And let's not forget, Dallas has a difficult schedule at the end of the year. The end of the year, we play the Giants, the Cardinals, and then the Giants again. Those should be 3 winnable games.
That's why
Seattle's
Seattle's
playing, that should be a winnable game.
Look, that's why I need the Cowboys to possibly beat you to be able to get a 1 seed because the rest of your schedule is soft.
And the best part about it is we have teams that are saying, hey, we need to beat you and we need this team to beat you. So go this other team. I love it. I believe in the no one likes us and we don't care philosophy. I always have and I always will, whether we're 1-16 or 16-1 or anywhere in between. We got some business to get back to attend to. And a win this week or next week. Because let's be honest, we can lose one of these games and it means nothing. Right? We just can't lose them both.
Mm-hmm.
We can lose to San Francisco or Dallas and it means nothing for us. It's just, oh man, we should have played better. Let's be real.
Yep. You're right. I mean, it is what it is.
So this is something I have to highlight, right? I was going to move on, but this is something I have to highlight. Playoffs. Cowboys fan talking about winning the game in the second round of the playoffs.
These Cowboy fans letting Dak's better looking stats fool them. That's what they doing.
Playoffs, not regular season. Playoffs. Now they talking about they're going to beat people in the playoffs. Playoffs. But hey, man, one thing is for sure and 2 things is for certain. We handle business this week. Y'all are done. Any hope you had, Dallas, is done. We lose this week and we spank y'all like I believe we will, and you're done. But Rob, just because you'd rather beat us in the playoffs, here's a little something I want you to think about.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
And
can I take this one, please?
You sure can take this one, sir. You go ahead. I will say nothing. The floor is yours, and then, Coach, we're gonna get back to finishing things up. But we'll have to interact with our delusional fans.
You are talking about how Dak is the best QB based on current play, and you are basing that, I assume, on his statistics against garbage defenses. Well, let me tell you the problem with looking at people's stats against garbage teams. Ask your boy Bland what happened last night when he got absolutely abused, picked on, and assaulted by the entire Seattle Seahawks wide receiver core. I'll wait.
Make sure we give him a few seconds to respond. I'm going to take away his ability to respond because I know he's typing, so it takes a minute or two to show up.
I mean, look, I get Dak credit. He's not making the mistakes he's made in the past, but until you go out and do it against a good defense, I'm not impressed. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll even go this far. Based on his play now, I would say he's at least in the conversation for MVP. I wouldn't make him the favorite or anything, but I would put him in the conversation. You put him in the conversation because of his play. But again, as you said, there's this thing called you're just not playing the softer teams on your schedule. You also have a difficult stretch coming up. This is where we're going to find out about Mr. Prescott. So let's talk about the Dallas's last few games before we move on here, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what Dallas got going on.
Real quick, I'm going to respond to his comments. So, yes, Bland did get an interception, but go back and watch the play. Quarterback throwing back across the field, across his body to a receiver on the sideline. If you are a defender, and you get credit for sticking with the receiver, but if you're a defender, those are the ones you have to pick. It wasn't a smart throw.
So Dallas, just in case Dallas fans forgot, the next games, week 14, they play the Eagles. Then they play Buffalo at Buffalo week 15. Week 16, they go to Miami and play Miami. Week 17, they got to play Detroit. So that's a tough little 4-game run there. I mean, except for Buffalo, because of what we've done to them, and we'll see how they, end after this week, because they have a game this week. These other teams are above 500. So this is going to be like that little bit of a stretch, kind of like we got this week, right? And Seattle's shown that, Dallas has some places that they can be, exploited at. So Rob says we will be there. He also says Purdy balling too. No acknowledgement for, a guy that's playing out of his mind and keep his team in games, even when he doesn't have a completely good game. Wouldn't have it any other way. He didn't against the Eagles, but their defense, I guess, ain't elite, so okay. Who said the Eagles' defense is elite? The Eagles have the 29th worst. They have the 29th ranked passing defense. So if you want to call that elite, go ahead. And we've got the second or third best running defense. So overall, the defense looks good, but tearing up a really bad defense, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Look at the stats. You like to run around and throw stats out there. Go look at statistically where the Eagles are at defensively. They're not a great passing defense this year. So, yeah, you are right. That doesn't matter. They're not elite. Stats say they're not. Doesn't matter. He says Miami will be home field advantage. So will Buffalo. He says, I'm saying they're not. Yeah, they're not. So why even bring it up if you know they're not? Why bring it up? Anyway, back to our regular schedule.
I guess he was catching himself.
Possibly. All right, so a little NBA to discuss here real quick. And Rob, you want to hang around this? You love it because it's about your guy. So Bronny James was cleared to fully return to basketball. So he'll be able to participate. He'll be able to play once he's in basketball shape for USC. LeBron James has said that he will be at Bronny's first game, even if the Lakers have a game the same day he'll miss the Lakers game, because he says his family over everything. So, Stephen, I know you are a fan of LeBron James. So what are your thoughts on first Bronny being cleared to play after surgery and, being fully cleared to play, and then also LeBron saying, hey, my son's first game in college, I'm going to be there even if I miss a Lakers game.
So just to clarify, I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a fan of the players on the team, which LeBron
James is on your team. Yeah. I'm not saying you're a Bron sexual fan. I'm saying that you're a fan of LeBron James because he's on your team.
Yeah, well,
I'm saying Rob is a Bron fan.
Yeah, I'm just specifying for all the LeBron lovers out there. I'm not one of you. So in terms of Bronny, it's great, right? I think that him being able to get back out there and resume his playing is great. Happy for him. In terms of LeBron saying he's going to miss the game, there's a part of you as a fan that's kind of like, dude, for real, like you gonna skip a game? But at the same time, it's an 82-game season. We all know LeBron gonna miss some games anyway at his age. So I don't really care. I mean, I understand what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it'd be one thing if you're like, oh, every time I get a chance to go see my son play, I'm gonna skip a Lakers game. I'm gonna have a problem with that. But that first game, especially because of what happened and everything, I get it. I understand why he wants to be there and support him. And, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to put your responsibilities as a father ahead of your responsibilities as a professional. And that's not just for athletes. That's for, anybody out there. A lot of times we criticize a lot of men for putting work before everything else. So when you have someone who comes out and says, hey, I'm going to prioritize family, you can't have it both ways. You can't criticize people for putting their family first and criticize them for putting work first. You can't do it that way. So I'm cool with it, actually.
Coach, your thoughts?
I'm cool with it because LeBron James does what he always do. He coasts during the season, and he turns up and out. He does what he always does. He coasts. He's gonna do that. Hell, it's LeBron James, but it's also, why I'm not gonna be upset of him doing that, and we know his family over everything, and him seeing Bronny, because Anthony Davis being inconsistent every single night. One night you don't know what you're gonna get up out of him. You can get a 32-point game about him. Next night you can get a 10-point game. What did you get out of Anthony Davis when he played against Dallas and they lost by 3? You know how many points you got up out of him? You got 10 points up out of him. So at the end of the day, and LeBron James at his age of 40 years old, this man's still trying to. It was some certain games. This man put the team on his back. Like that game against Houston, Anthony Davis foul out. LeBron James turns into a 25-year-old LeBron James against my Houston Rockets. Anthony Davis fouls out because Alp decides to outplay him. He fouls out, and LeBron James basically wins them the game. And if Anthony Davis, you want to whine and complain and moan about you that guy, well, when LeBron James is out, you should be the man at this point. You should be the man. And like I said, I don't mind him missing games. He does that every year. Whether if it's rest or coast during the season, he does it every year. So it's not a surprise. But you do need to know can Anthony Davis be more and more consistent? Because he'll have a 31-point game, 40-point game every now and then. The next night, he has 15 points. You just don't know this season where Anthony Davis is going to be. And then you also need other players to step up. Like Christian Wood, you need consistency out of him. You need consistency out of these players when LeBron James not even in the lineup.
You asking too much, Coach. Your media cool.
Coach want Anthony Davis to go out there and play the dude he's supposed to be.
Yeah, you asking too
I guess it is. I guess it's asking too much, Coach, for that man to earn his money. That's asking too much.
Yeah, to earn his money, that ain't asking too much. You over $200 million. You want to earn your money, huh? You need him to earn his money, huh?
Listen, I've been hoping for what you said for a couple years now, man. I've accepted it's not gonna happen, man. You asked for too much.
Hell, shit, Joel Embiid can average 40 points in a goddamn regular season and get a $250 million contract, but he ain't owning up to it if he ain't doing well in the playoffs, ain't he? And Jokic earning every penny of his money that he get, playoffs and regular season. That ain't asking too much for going out there and doing your damn job and being consistent.
I will say this in defense of AD, though. Look, I will say one thing in defense of AD, though. At least he does still usually play good defense, even when he's not having good.
Oh, I give him credit for that. I give him 1,000% credit for that.
Yeah, so I at least give him credit. He at least shows up and plays.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I give him credit for playing defense, but on the offensive end, that's when you need you too talented not to be inconsistent on the offensive side. I give him that on the defensive side. He's great on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he'd be more consistent, man, but I've just given up hope, honestly.
I feel it. So y'all move on to these picks. Any thoughts from week 12? Anything you guys want to discuss from week 12, or are we good to just roll into these picks?
I'm good. I'll roll into the picks.
Yeah, we can roll.
All right, cool. All right, so before we got the Arlington football team rah-rah, I was actually going to say, and I still will, Thursday was one of the better Thursday night games that we've had all season.
Yeah.
And also credit Dallas for beating a team that was hanging around. Bad calls on fourth down, but that's not Dallas's fault. 3 really crappy calls on fourth down sealed their own fate. Like they had 3 opportunities and they sealed their own fate. Dallas gave them an opportunity with kicking that last field goal to be able to come down and get a touchdown. And what did they do? They went away from the one man who nobody could stop last night. They started to say, oh, we're just going to follow Bland. A sound strategy at times. But for me, you have a number 1 receiver for a reason. And he's going off. He's cooking. Why are we not getting the ball in any situation? Gilmore was guarding him. But you know what? That's the difference between teams like Seattle and teams like Dallas. We talk smack. Eagles, Dallas fans, we talk smack. At the end of the day, Dallas is at worst, the fourth best team in the NFC. And I know Dallas fans are going to say they're the second best, because they're loving on the 49ers this week. So they're not going to say they're the first this week because they're loving on the 49ers. But they're going to say they're one of the best teams in the league, and that's fine. It's no problem. You can rank yourself wherever you want, right? We can rank ourselves as the gods of football. That doesn't make us the gods, but we can rank ourselves that. We can believe that if we want. But Dallas did play a good game. They weren't perfect. The defense got exposed. Bland, found out ways to do things to Bland. But I will say this. They stuck in there. They got the win. And that's what you're supposed to do against a team that they should beat. They beat.
Yeah.
So big ups to them for that. Did you guys want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think you kind of hit a lot of it on the head. I think the thing that we have to acknowledge that is a little bit different from what we've seen Dallas do in the past is even though it was a field goal, they did manage to go down, put points on the board offensively at the end of the game. And then the defense, guys who weren't able to get to the quarterback all night because of how quickly Seattle was getting rid of the ball, were able to make the plays when they had to be made. And you got to give them credit for that.
Lawrence and Parsons made some big plays.
Yeah. So I give them credit for coming through in the clutch, but I'm also going to be legit in saying they should have beat Seattle by more than they did.
They should have.
Because they are much better team than Seattle.
On paper.
Well, all I want to say, Deron Blank gave up 6 catches in the first half of 137 yards and got beat to death by DK Metcalf. Got knocked the hell out. I will say that.
I mean, that's accurate. All right, so to the picks for the rest of the week, we've got the 4-7 Chargers at the 2-9 Patriots. Chargers are trash. Patriots are doodle juice. I'll go with trash over doodle juice.
Agree.
What about you, Coach?
I'm a pass, but I'm gonna one reckon. It's Brandon Staley not fired yet.
Not as far as I know.
Yeah, he needs to be fired after this game if he don't find a way to come out of Foxborough with a victory. But I'll take the Chargers. But when is enough is going to be a goddamn no. You see, Frank Wright got fired. You see, Frank Wright got fired. They're gonna fire Ron Rivera after the season. I'm sick of people saying that you can't fire your damn coach in season. Yes, the hell you can. We got Frank Wright fired. We got Duke Staley fired. They fired them. They fired Jack Del Rio. Why the hell you can't fire the guy mid-season?
They fired Josh McCown too. They fired that quarterback coach too.
They fired the whole goddamn staff. So why is it not too late to fire the man? Go ahead, do this damn man a favor. If he loses to New England, go ahead and do him a favor and fire his ass right now. Why wait? Just fire his ass right now if he does lose to New England. But I got the Chargers. They should beat the Chargers. But after this game, why don't you fire this damn man on the football field? Why don't you go ahead? Why wait till after the season when we know you're going to do it anyway? Go ahead and do it now. Do the man a favor and do it now.
Listen, I think Charger fans everywhere are like, Coach, shut up. We're trying to get a better draft pick, and we need Brandon Staley as our head coach to do that.
Terrible. I'm gonna hit you with that. That's horrible. That's the truth. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But we got the 8-3 Lions against the 5-6 Saints. I'm just going Lions. I don't even have anything else to say. I'm going Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
Coach.
I'm taking the Lions in this game.
All right, we've got the team with a great defense, trash at quarterback, but a decent run game in the Falcons against a team with a great defense, trash at quarterback, and won't use their running game against the Jets. I'm going to go with, I would say, the worst quarterback in this game in the Falcons in Desmond Ridder because they can run the ball and they still have a good defense.
Yeah. I mean, better running game in Atlanta. I'm going to go Atlanta.
I'm going to pass, which is who I'm going with.
So, just to give y'all a quick update, Washington just went up 10-0 on Oregon.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've got the 2-10 Cardinals at the 7-4 Steelers. Easy game, Steelers. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
All right. Coach,
you know who I'm going with. Which is obvious who I'm going with.
When he say pass, I mean he going with us. We got 6-5 Colts at the 4-7 Titans. It's crazy to say this, but White Goodman's probably going to win another game going Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to go Colts.
I'm going to go Colts.
All right, then we got the 8-3 Dolphins at the 4-8 Washington Commanders, who have just bottomed out. Definitely going to go Dolphins. They're probably going to put up 80 points.
Although they're going to put up 80 points, but I'm definitely going Dolphins.
I'm going to pass. It's going to be a scrimmage. That secondary is so bad. That secondary is disgusting.
It is. And this is a game I know Coach Dante is not going to pass on. We got the 6-5 Broncos at the 6-5 Texans. Broncos' story has been great. Coming back, they're getting back in games, they're making things happen. But now they're going up against the Houston Texans. Time for to take one of those. Going Texans.
Yeah, this is a tough one, right? Because the Broncos have been playing surprisingly well lately. But Houston is, I think, the surprise team of the year this year. I mean, I think we all expected them to be improved this year, but I don't think anybody expected them to be as good as they are. I'm going to give them the edge this week. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, tough loss last week. We lost the game on a botched field goal. Glad we released him. Glad we released him last weekend, so that's very good. But missed the field goal by 1 inch. But other than that, the Broncos they have trouble scoring on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is been improved, but the way CJ Stroud has played, and when he's played against good defenses, he's been able to shred good defenses as well. So I'm going with us in a close game. I'm going with us in a very close game. I think we win this game in a very close game.
CJ Stroud, 353 touchdowns, no picks, sir. I need you for fantasy, bro. I believe in you. I need you.
I know one thing. I would never work for Coach Dante. You get fired for doing nothing.
You'd be like Craig and Friday.
How you get fired on your day off?
How you get fired on your day off, huh?
Coach said I was stealing boxes.
Then we got the worst team in the NFL at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you're not sure who that is, that's the 1-10 hapless Carolina Panthers with the ole, 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 ole offensive line. Definitely have them losing. Going with Buccaneers because I'll go with anybody over the Panthers.
There is the new coach factor, right? There's always that question of like, how's the team going to play when they get a new coach in? But I just don't think the Panthers have enough talent to do anything with it. So I'm going to go Bucks.
It'll be a more impressive loss.
Yeah.
A more impressive loss, yeah. New coach will be a more impressive loss.
Well, just like Ben Cool McCain said earlier in the offseason, in the draft process. Well, the pick bit him in the ass. We all know Frank Wright wanted CJ Stroud. The decision, the organization made a decision to go with Bryce Young. We knew Josh McCowan, when he saw CJ Stroud at his workout, he wanted CJ Stroud. He ended up getting fired here, and now you had to get the running back coach up out of there, Deuce Staley. That organization just a mess. But this is what happens when you make all with bad decisions. This is what happens every time you make bad decisions. And I'm happy we made. And one thing I'm always thank Davis Mills for is winning that game against Indianapolis because that allowed us to get CJ Stroud. But other than that, I'm going with Tampa Bay to win this game.
We got the 7-4 Browns at the 5-6 Rams. I know the Browns are probably starting me, Coach Dante, or Steven at quarterback. But I'm still with that defense and that running game. I'm still going to go with the Browns over the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns as well. I wanted to go with the Rams. I wanted to go with the Rams because they have been playing pretty good too this year. They 5-6. But the only thing that I have more confident in the Browns that it's hard to score on them. Now, one thing about it, can their offense put up enough points to win this game? That's the only question. But I'm gonna take the Browns because I think their defense is gonna be able to stop the Rams consistently. So I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. But don't be surprised if this game be closer than what it actually think, because of Dorian Thompson-Robinson and that offense being inconsistent. I will take the Browns defense.
When you have a defense that can put pressure on the quarterback, and the quarterback on the other side of the field is Matthew Stafford, the team who could put pressure on Matthew Stafford is going to win the game. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
That's fair. And then we've already kind of talked about this, but still got to pick it. We got the 8-3 49ers at the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. A point of interest is the Eagles are underdog by 2.5 points at home. So just a little interest there. Steven, who you got?
I think we should just let Coach go, because you already know who we're picking.
I'm gonna roll with the hot team, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm gonna roll with them by a field goal.
I mean, technically they're both hot teams right now, but
One's won 5 in a row. Actually 6, because we did win the other day. So a little bit hotter. Might cool off, but a little bit hotter right now. I'm going Eagles. I know my co-host is going 49ers. I will agree with Coach. I think whoever wins this game, it's not going to be a large margin. It's going to be whoever can catch the ball last and, get that last score to put themselves ahead.
Yeah, I expect this to be a close physical game.
The concern I have about that is we like to, in the last 2-3 minutes of the game, instead of running the clock down and just going for the field goal, we like to try to take an explosive play at times, but it may not be wise. So something to be concerned about. But the way we've been playing lately, we've needed every drive and every play to win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, and then we got the 8-3 Chiefs at the Packers. Just so I get this out, I was waiting for this game. I got 3 birthday presents last week. The Eagles beat the Bills, and they beat the Chiefs. And Green Bay beat the Detroit Lions. Thank you, Green Bay, for the birthday present. I greatly appreciate it. And you gave it to me the morning after my birthday.
So,
the early part of the day, I should say, after my birthday.
So why do you care about Detroit losing?
That gives us breathing room. Because with Detroit losing, we still have to lose 2 games as well, because now there are 2 games behind us. So that's why it doesn't matter if we lose a game. If Detroit keeps winning like they were winning, then we had to keep winning to stay ahead, right? So that's why that matters. It's all about what's best for the Eagles.
Always.
We got in the Chiefs and Packers, sir.
Chiefs have just not looked right this year. But the Packers, despite playing, up, a little bit, I don't think they're gonna win this game. I'm gonna go Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Chiefs as well. But I think, like I say, this could be a trap game for the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Packers are in Lambeau and they do play very good defense. Just like they did against Jared Goff. They put pressure on Jared Goff. They was able to get to him. They was able to stop the running game a little bit. So I think this is a trap game for the Kansas City Chiefs, but I do got them winning the game because of the quarterback. They will have the better quarterback. They will have a tight end. And I like Isaiah Pacheco being a part of the run game.
If they could just get a wide receiver to catch the ball, they'd be all right.
Yep.
Facts. So we have 1 game left, but before that, one thing I just want to make sure, I'm sure everybody's already heard of, but just want to make sure we throw it out there since we're here. They actually do remember that they can flex games.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL actually has remembered that. So they flexed the Eagles Seahawks game into prime time, not this coming week, but the week after, on Monday night. Because you can flex Monday night games too. But apparently they forgot you can flex Thursday and Sunday night, and only that you can flex 1 Monday night game. But I guess it's better to get 1 than none.
Which I find funny, because let's be legitimate. There's a fairly decent chance that Seattle's going to be like on the brink of being out of the playoffs by the time they play y'all. I mean, I guess maybe they want to move to Monday night so that we could all see the funeral happen live in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, it's so funny, man. Like when you have all these NFC teams playing each other, it's like, hey, we want to beat you this week, but then next week we want you to beat that team. Like that's where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
That's
mean we
where
are.
we're at.
I mean it's like, you know, we were joking around with Raw earlier, but it's like at the end of the day, man, I mean, legitimately, like 49ers and Eagles fans are fans of each other for the next 2 weeks.
Right. It's like I want to beat you, but then I want you to go out and handle some business for me.
But then
You know
after
what I'm
that,
saying?
then you just go back to being doo-doo.
Yeah. Then after that, you go back to I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only need Dallas for 2 weeks. After that, then kick rocks.
I just need my own team.
Well, unfortunately, man, you know,
for now, depending on what happens next 2 weeks, I might need somebody else too. So the last game that we have is the Bengals at the Jaguars on Monday night. Would have been a great game, but without Joe Burrow, it's not a great game. Going Jaguars.
Definitely.
Jaguars.
You ball.
Oh, all right, guys. So any last words before we get up out of here and finish watching this national championship contender game? Because one of these dudes is going to be in one of these 4 spots, whoever wins. And watch the driving again, by the way.
Yeah, I like to say that. Sir, well done, sir. You know, I'm just gonna say, hope my Seminoles pull it off tomorrow, win the ACC championship, and 49ers pull it off and get a little retribution from the NFC championship game on Sunday. And if those 2 things happen, I will have a very, very good weekend.
Yep. I also want to give a couple shout outs to men's college basketball teams. St. Joe's beating number 18 Villanova this weekend. This shows you those are one of those teams that can, when they get in the tournament, they can be tough to beat. In the NCAA tournament, they can end some people hopes, some big time people hopes. And Arkansas beating Duke, number 7 Duke. Arkansas is a tough team to play in the tournament. They went to the I believe the League 8 last year. They beat number 1 Kansas, the number 1 seed Kansas. So just want to give a couple shout outs to those 2 teams. And on the women's side, we had a great game between Deja Kelly, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Great game, comeback win by South Carolina. Great game. Just want to give a couple mentions on those.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Just want to say, man, you know, pundits, haters, supposed to be supporters, they're all saying the same thing about the Eagles. We can't beat this team. We can't beat that team. We can't do this. We can't do that. Luckily, all these games are decided on the field and not by what people think, not by what people want, not by what people hope. So, you know, I know that 49ers fans are looking at this as a measure of retribution. I'll say this to you. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat us in the Super Bowl. I didn't feel any sense of retribution for that because it wasn't in the Super Bowl, right? The only way that I feel like my team can get retribution is to get to the Super Bowl, whether it's Kansas City or whether somebody spanks them and gets there in their place and wins. Anything other than that does not satisfy me or give me any sense of retribution. So if we can't get back and win, there is no retribution for me. Whether you guys beat us, whether we win, it's another regular season game. We want to win them as many as we can because that's how you get the number 1 seed. But if we don't, man, it is what it is. We fire it back up. And I will say this. Dallas fans are running around hoping that the 49ers beat the Eagles. What I want you to think about is what's going to happen to you if the 49ers beat the Eagles. Do you think the Eagles are going to come to Dallas happy? Do you think the Eagles are going to come to Dallas downtrodden? Or do you think they're going to come to Dallas pissed? We're not going to Dallas. To Arlington, Texas, pissed off if we lose this game. So I'm gonna just leave with this. Dallas fans and Detroit fans, whoever else wants the Eagles to lose, but especially this is for Dallas fans. Let's say we do lose this game. You got what you asked for, and you get it because you asked for it. enjoy what will happen to you if that happens. And don't blame me. Blame yourselves. With that said, tell 2 of your friends, tell 4 of your enemies. Because to come check us out, just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. We out. I said it before, say it again. Go Washington. And make sure we're clear, the college team, not the Commanders.